Hi, everybody, and welcome to the State of the Union recap. We're actually here on Wednesday, so we've been kind of going a whole day just kind of looking at Donald Trump's State of the Union address. So I do have up here some stuff from the 5-Minute Fix, Aaron Blake's take on the winners and losers from the State of the Union. First of all, I want to say it was the second longest State of the Union address. I think in history, Bill Clinton had one that was a little longer. Came in at like an hour and 37 minutes. It was a lot of fluff. There was a lot of just different things going on in there, highlighting where he was going. I think the speech started out a little flat. Donald Trump's style of speaking is a little flat right away. So I'm not going to sit here and be super cruel to the guy, because I'm just not. And people who are joining this show expecting me to just rail on Trump for, as long as his speech was, it ain't going to happen. I'm going to give my thoughts and feelings on it as I do. I think that he's highlighting what he's done. If Congress would get along and actually work together, they would have had a 3-hour speech. But they don't. They don't work together, and it's a shame. So one of the winners here that Mr. Blake says on this write-up is his strength metaphors. He did say, the State of the Union is strong because our people are strong. A lot of people stood up for that. I was really taken back watching the Democratic response to Donald Trump as the cameras would switch over to there. And you saw Schumer, sometimes he would applaud and sometimes he would give a little clap here and there. Nancy Pelosi was absolutely sitting on her hands, and it looked like somebody pissed in her Kool-Aid. I was just like enamored in the fact that she just had no response. It's like, I don't even want to be here. And I get that. But to me, seeing Chuck Schumer, clap at certain times was at least a benefit to saying, hey, he can respect what a lot of people aren't respecting, and that's the presidency at this point. I thought that was interesting, and I know I might say a few times. I didn't write a lot of this stuff down. I said I was going to take notes, and I had 3 other things going on at the time, but I did hear the entirety of the speech, and that's what we're talking about. Trump's illusion of unity is another thing that Mr. Blake talks about here. He said the time for trivial fights is behind us. I want to take a bet. We got a little office pool going on here on how long it will be until another trivial fight happens, and it's all Trump tweeting about something that somebody said, representative, a senator, a governor, some political person. I want to see how long it takes until that unity is gone. Personally, I do not care about Trump's little response about African countries saying that they're S-hole countries. I don't care about that. My thought on that is, for years and years and years, how many times has the president said that in the Oval Office? And because we don't live in 24/7 news and we don't have a PC world where people are getting butthurt because of anything, that people would have said that. I mean, it just boggles my mind. Here's Trump, who's not PC at all. He's not watching what he has to say and being very, very careful in this society where we need to. He's being Trump. So, I'm not going to begrudge the guy on his thoughts and feelings on whoever and whatever. I'm going to blame 24/7 media for the fact that they have nothing better to do than to talk about what the president says in the Oval Office, in a meeting, whatever. I just don't care. It's the same thing with the Russia probe. I don't care about the Russia probe. If I never hear about Russia ever again, I'll be very, very happy. Enough said on that. But Trump's illusion of unity is one of those things. I'm very confused on the way the president acts sometimes. I understand that other people are as well. But unification between Democrats and Republicans, just can't happen. I mean, right now, we are so divided in our country, and it's not Trump's fault. Look at 2000 Bush and Gore. If you want to throw somebody at fault, look at even some of the elections beforehand. We are very divisive in our issues, and even in our own parties. If you look here at the DFL in Minnesota, we're super split on copper nickel mining and sulfide mining. That it's just nuts. So it is what it is. Another winner that he has is Steve Scalise, and gotta say that was a great moment. The legend from Louisiana. He gave an incredibly great tribute to Steve Scalise as he's back after getting shot in that congressional baseball practice. So I was really excited to see that. It was a really great moment in the House chamber. So there you go. Tax cuts were another big thing that he got a lot of. He got the win on talking about that. When they talked about tax cuts, it was actually kind of funny to watch Mitch McConnell, who I don't care for at all, and it was very interesting to see Mitch McConnell smile a little bit and be clapping he's got something up his sleeve. But tax cuts were a big time deal. Now let me talk about the losers. As according to this gentleman that writing this thing up. And like I said, I heard the whole speech, but I kind of wanted to have something to go off on. And he said the first losers are the truth. And, it's very interesting to see what Trump is saying and how he's trying to sell it, because he's a very good salesman. And he talked about bonuses for once, saying that many of which were thousands of dollars. Bonuses for a lot of places were $1,000, but you can't think that Trump doesn't know something about some rich, person getting a bonus, which is thousands of dollars. I mean, these $1,000 bonuses are just places that are going to get huge tax cuts, and they can spend a little bit extra money. It was, like I said, the longest State of the Union record since the 1960s, since apparently they started counting it. It was 1 hour and 20 minutes according to the clock. Third longest on record according to the American Presidency Project. And I don't think that was a loser thing. I think that was, I think it was right around, I think it was the right time for it. And the next one is the deep state. One of the comments was, Americans love their country and they deserve a government that shows them the same love and loyalty in return. That was kind of a slam to say loyalty a little bit. And then he also said, for the last year, we have sought to restore the bonds of trust between our citizens and their government, which is true. I think that anything that can be brought forward to restore the bonds of trust are much needed, because I think that they're absolutely failing at this point. And it's just one of those things, folks. Government right now has a lot of very bad moments to it. Bipartisanship was another thing that apparently was a loser in this. It started because some people were boycotting the speech. He didn't say, Trump said a lot of things that were brought out that were kind of a surprise, like Family Leave Act, like Second Chance Act, just different things that need to happen, a new low in the black unemployment rate. And then when the plea for unity came, like I said, Nancy Pelosi's, just her face was just, you had to see it. And then the final thing they talk about on Losers here is immigration reform. There was a lot of talk about crime. He brought a lot of people up that did things for immigration. And it is just one of those things that I'm not caring too much about immigration. I wish they'd do something and just be done with it, because we have so many other things to move on with. I don't think that people who are here illegally, I find it to be a tough road to take, and I can only see it to be harder as if you're president or in Congress, that you have an opinion on it. So I just want to see something happen. I want to see it happen bipartisanly and just get it off the books and be done. So that's kind of my thought on the State of the Union. It was a lot of fluff to me. It was what it was, folks, and you can't really take that back and say, okay, well, here's all the good things that happen, all the bad things that happen, because it just happened. That's, to me, how I feel about it. It just happened. So we're going to go here on the Scott Show Politics Show. We will be back with more shows very soon, highlighting some of the things happening in Congress, some of the things happening in the states. Hopefully we'll be back with an election thing too, and some special guests coming up here very soon on thescottshow.com. See you guys later. Have a great rest of your day.